Good morning, everyone. It's Monday morning again, and you've got your Mavens of Motivation here with you. Our question today is, how are you coming along with your clearing of your clutter? Has it changed in your life? We've got some stories to tell, and we have a big surprise to tell too. So we have a friend that's going to give you a free gift that is pretty amazing. But first of all, I want to say hello, Barbara. This is my co-host, ABarbaraEllison, and we just love coming on here and talking to you every Monday. We hope for you to, click, share, tell your friends, bring them on, whatever the mode that you're watching on, because we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're in many different places. So please share it out. Please tell people about us, and just know that we're here for you. Put your questions in the comments. If you have any questions that you want us to answer or a topic you want us to cover, let us know. We'll be more than happy to do that. So I have Carol Henderson, Life by Design. I help people to overcome severe traumas or small traumas in their life, to get their bodies healthier and to get well and together, spirit, soul, and body. Because when one area is out of whack, the other areas get out of whack. And we don't want that in our lives. We want you to have a good, wonderful life. So Barbara, you want to tell us about you for any new people we have?
Yeah. Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm Barbara Ellison, and I am on a mission to make happiness the norm rather than the exception. And one of the things that I have really realized is that, and this, and we teach what we have had to walk through. And I, in my midlife, lost my husband, had to really examine my life and realized that the life that I was living was not the one that I wanted to continue to live. It was like there's got to be something more than what I was doing. And just because I was happy, I loved my husband, but I didn't expect to be a widow. And it just absolutely, this is what Carol talks about. It devastated me. But then in that moment that I woke up from my widow's fog, it was like, oh, brother Barbara, who are you? And I realized in that moment that I had no idea. And I think I'm not the only one that hits midlife and feels that feeling of just, who am I and what am I doing here? The things that I've been doing for the last 20 or 30 years, yike, I don't think I like doing them. And that's where I was. I knew what I didn't want, but I had no idea what I did want. And so that's what I do now. I work with people to just get them in touch with who they are, what their purpose is. And don't you find, Carol, that I know for myself, I always thought that my purpose had to be this huge, big, grandiose thing. And I kept taking courses and doing all sorts of just courses and lectures and speaking things about how to find your purpose, until I realized that my purpose is not out there. The purpose is in here. And your purpose can be so simple. And we just like to complicate things. I know I'm the queen of complication.
Well, you were the queen of the classes. Everything along, she jumped in and did them. Now, if I join, sometimes I finish and sometimes I don't. She went full board, did them all, did everything and she may be doing 2 or 3 or 4 classes at a time. And,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I was kind of in awe. So just that she was able to handle all that.
And just loved it, but realized back, and it's like, I have realized my purpose is something so simple. It is, serve God, learn, and then to teach others what I've learned. So I'm going to tell something that I learned back to, and you pushed me into this. Over the last couples, we have talked about being clutter, having clutter around us, having physical clutter, emotional clutter. Where did that come from? Emotional clutter, but also spiritual clutter. And so one of my physical clutters was I can't believe I'm having to tell people this, but but I'm not the worst. I had over 80 unread emails.
Say that again, because it kind of glitched out. Say the number again.
I had over 80,000 unread emails. It was so bad. I had because the part of the lesson is that I didn't know how to segment my emails. So instead of learning how to segment my emails, I just started new email addresses. So then they just got out of control. I had 2 email apps on my phone. Plus, I've probably got like 10 email addresses. I have now turned off 5 of them. And now and then I learned how to archive. So right now I only have, and so I'm setting aside 1 day a week to just archive, like to zip through the messages and then archive them, just because it's easy. And if there's nothing in there that I need to keep, they're out the door. And I have been quite pleased with myself. I'm going to pat on the back. I have unsubscribed from probably 30 lists.
Well, and do you get those unrequested ones? And somehow every once in a while I get on a list and it's not one company that's sending me things, but it's like 5 or 6 affiliated companies. And then you go to unsubscribe and it's like, do you want to unsubscribe from this one or from all by this company? I'm like, all? Now I'm the queen of the delete button. I go through and go delete, 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 delete. But I learned something. I had some things that I had popping up telling me what was happening on another thing. And so I went through and I did unsubscribe from, or I turned off the push notifications. So if you're in a group or something, and you can turn off your push notifications and then you don't get the email. Of course, then you do have to remember to go check that group, whether it's Group Me or Facebook or something like that.
Right.
And of course I had Facebook turned off because that'd fill up your email queue in 1 hour, 1 day. But
I had thousands from LinkedIn notifications.
Yes, that's the one that I need to go turn off. But one thing I have done, I did not do the archive on a regular basis, but I should. I have for years gone through, and deleted anything that I thought was stupid. And even at the end of the year, I'll spend time and delete them and then archive everything else under that year. So if I need to go find information on a car wreck or an insurance quote, or we built this in this day and here are in this year and here are the invoices for it. I could kind of know the year most of the time and go look just through those. And so that helps. But, keep it. And I'm sitting here telling you how to do this, and I need to go do mine now because I didn't do mine at the end of the year. And so we're now in February and I haven't done it yet.
Right.
So,
and this is what happens. We get caught up in life. And all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, what happened here? Why? I'm like, I did it last week where I archived everything. I'm already up to 300 for almost 400. Oh, let me look. 400 emails. 364 unread emails because because of exactly what we just said. You subscribe to one list and then all their affiliates.
Yes. Well, and that's one of the things, but I want to talk about some wins. I want to talk about some wins. We had the clutter challenge and I went and I took a picture of the clutter. I showed Barbara my clutter, but afterwards I did find a picture, but now I can't find the after picture. but we're redoing our bedroom, and I had like big plantation shutters on, you know, that were not hung, and they were standing around, and closet doors, and just kind of clutter in the floor, but hardly anything in the room. No furniture, no anything else in the room. And we're waiting for the floor person. But anyway, so we were kind of getting everything ready for the floor person to come, but it was cluttered. And I have to walk through that room every time I go to the master bathroom. And so, excuse me, that was a source of clutter in my life that I didn't realize. Excuse me. I've got a tickle in my throat. I apologize for that. Huh? Yeah.
We'll both take a drink at the same time. So then we're going to be.
But anyway, it amazed me at how much it had affected me. And it wasn't until I was talking about it that I'm like, okay, that's something I need to do. I need to take care of that. Well, it kind of led to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And now I am going through, my kids moved to Washington State, one of my middle son and his family. And they had a bunch of stuff here. And he said, I just don't want to ship it up and everything. They had stayed with us for a while during the move. And he said, it's too expensive. We'll get more. When we get there, just give it away, throw it away, whatever you want to do with it. Well, it sat and it has sat and it has sat. And this week, I finally, you know, I would look at it and just be overwhelmed because it is, I mean, we're talking those black totes with the yellow lids, multiple of those, and boxes and furniture and stuff. And finally, I just was like, okay, okay, I've got to, you know, I finally was in the mood, I guess. And we had snow days. I got snowed in for a few days this week, could not leave the property at all. So I did get down here and start going through the little stuff, you know, some of the smaller things. But another thing that motivated me is I have an idea for some of you. A friend of mine started a Facebook group. She said, I don't want to do a garage sale. I don't want to mess with selling it on Facebook or Marketplace or anything, but I have too much. She has a beautiful, very large house that is a wedding event center. Their house and their ranch is a wedding event center. And so she said, I have all these decorations and stuff. Most are still packed. Some are brand new, some not out of the box, some used. But she said, I've got to declutter. And so she started a Facebook group. And it has been more fun because everything on the Facebook group is free. There's no charge for anything on the Facebook. And there's some nice stuff. Okay. There's some really cool stuff. If you live out of town, you have to pay the shipping. Reasonable, but no charge. And so we've all been putting things up and trading, and you know, first come, first served. But if that person doesn't pick it up or changes their mind, they'll say, no, I've changed it. So it has been fun. So I want to encourage every one of you to do that. And when you think, well, I want to make the money from it. Well, you know, you can't outgive God. You cannot outgive God. And when you're giving freely of yourself to someone, that is like giving to him. And so I'm just trusting that all this stuff that I'm giving, my stuff, my kids' stuff, that I'm not putting everything there, but I'm putting a good amount of stuff there. And I've had people picking stuff up, and I've got to take some stuff to Amarillo already. And to, you know, when I go to town, it's fun. And I think that is one thing that is really exciting, that I think that group spurred me on, because I saw a couple of things I liked, but I wanted to be sure and put stuff up. And so I'm like, I know I've got tons of stuff. So I started looking at my stuff with that eye, instead of where am I going to store this? Or do I really like that hanging there now? And I found all kinds of treasures I didn't know I had that I had forgotten about, but also things that my daughter-in-law had that I really like. So anyway.
Right. And you know, that's exactly right. It's spurred on to do something else. So like with me, when I cleaned up my emails, I still have a little bit of a pile of stuff on my desk. Yes. But it's much. And then one day, the day after, I think it must have been last Tuesday or Wednesday, I went into my closet and I just had a shelf, and it's just a shelf of it's just kind of like things. And I went, I'm tidying up this shelf. And it was like, oh, wow, what a difference. You know, when you start one thing, it spurs you other things. And one of the other things was Friday was like, I call them dark-hearted minions. And and I told you this on Friday, that it was just dogging me all week. And part of that was the spiritual clutter of not taking time for me. I had been neglecting my self-care. So clutter had gotten into my, into your headspace, the stuff between your ears. And I had just this emotional, spiritual clutter. And so Friday afternoon, for like 4 hours, I just spent time decluttering myself, my physical, spiritual, emotional, what's happening here. And it was absolutely cathartic. And we have to do it, because if we take care of ourselves. And in fact, I even posted a thing about self-care, the 12 steps of self-care. And we deserve to do it. Because if we do not do it, nobody's going to do it for us. And if we don't serve ourselves, we're going to be no good to anybody else. And especially women, I'm going to pick on women. So often we are the nurturers. We're the ones that keep the family together. We're the ones that take care of this. They take care of that. We take care of this. And we forget to take care of us. And it was like, oh, brother, Barbara, you have not. And the clutter up here. And that's where all of these minions could get in and dog and make me feel less than. And that, oh, what's wrong? Why am I feeling so kind of out of sort? Well, gee, Barbara, when was the last time you sat down and decluttered up what's up here? And it was like, oh yeah. So the biggest lesson was, I have now got it scheduled on my calendar. It is scheduled. It is called House and Home and Self Time. And now it's on my schedule. So none of my clients can book into that time. That is now my time. If it has to move, okay, yeah, you bet. But it's on my schedule every week. Dear, what's up here? And I never realized how important it was.
Yes. And I personally think that's why it's good to get up and have your quiet time in the morning. I don't have all the things in it that you have, but to just even start out with a scripture, start out with a prayer.
Oh, right.
Journal some things first thing in the morning. And people go, oh, what, can you meet at 6:30? Well, yeah, I can. But the thing they don't realize, I have learned that a Zoom call or a phone call for me right now is no different than walking out the door. And I don't walk out the door without my armor on. And so I have to schedule in that time ahead of
Right.
seeing anybody, meeting anybody before, if they say put your oxygen mask on first. Well, that's what
Right.
we're saying.
Exactly.
Get you right, and then
Right.
the rest of the day, and then bracket at the end of the day, and thank the Lord for what a great day you had. Celebrate your wins. Forgive yourself
Right.
for any shortfalls, because the biggest forgiveness that we miss, we think, oh, forgive so and so for beating me up as a child or whatever. But your biggest forgiven is yourself. That's the hardest one for people to do, but it's the biggest, it's the most important. And so that, that brackets your day. It starts and stops your day. You kind of put a period at the end of it. And that also helps you sleep. Because when you can put your period at the end
Celebrate the win.
Pardon? Yes, celebrate the wins. Because a lot of times, if you don't close your day, it plays over and over and over in your mind. And then have you ever, like my first job was a cashier at TGNY, little 5 and dime we had down here. But anyway, and I literally, the first few nights, I did this in my sleep all night long. I was checking out, because it was so stressful to learn. I mean, I was like 14, 15, and it was stressful to learn. And then it got to be rote, but I worked all night too. So I was tired the next morning. And, when we do things like that now, our things are much bigger that roll in our head and that we think about. But, they can really keep you up.
Oh, like I've been in the restaurant business for 40 years, and we call them server nightmares. You are just, like there have been times in the restaurant business, we call it when it pulls up. And everything comes at once. And it just, the restaurant will from being empty to being totally full 15 minutes. And that happens. It doesn't matter. And I have, in the restaurant business, I have done everything from a shot joint to being in a fine dining restaurant where I wore a tux and did tableside service. So all across in the restaurant business, it's like a bus. The bus would just, it was like, we always called it that, the bus just pulled up. And everybody came at once. It's just certain times of the day that it was always that. And it has been in forever.
But Barbara,
and once in a while, you would have that during the night.
Yeah, let's take that and put it into everybody's life. Think about, you get up in the day.
Everybody's life.
You have 2 or 3 things scheduled, and your day is going to go smooth. This is wonderful. And then little Johnny forgets his homework, or the dog gets out, or your husband goes, oh, I need you to do this for me. And all of a sudden you go from having this wonderful, calm day to right in your face. And
in your face.
How am I going to get all this done? Or you start having clients show up, a busload of clients show up. I need to talk to you now. I need to, I need to book you. I need to this. And all of a sudden it gets so full. So, this chaotic. Applies across the board but let's go back to what I wanted to say. If you keep things uncluttered, your email, your rooms, whatever, your spirit, if you keep yourself uncluttered, then everything else, and bracket your day, start and finish, it will be much more of an efficient day. But can I tell them the surprise yet?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll let you.
Thank you. We've started our other broadcast of Thoughtful Thursdays. And that is different than this. It's not just us chatting. It is us interviewing various people that from all walks of life. all walks of life. I can't even, I mean, such a wide variety that we don't know where we're going to put them all, because so many people are wanting to come on and visit with us, and we know some amazing people. But this week we posted, now this girl was supposed to post on Thursdays. This is a pre-recorded thing that we do because of the fact that there's 3 of us and stuff. But our podcast, and it has already posted. It was supposed to post this Thursday, but she is giving us a free gift. And so we want it, and it is on Thursday. So we wanted to give everybody time to go and get signed up for this. But she's doing a master class on decluttering your mind. Now, how does that fit into what we're talking about? We did not know this woman 3 weeks ago when we talked about decluttering. So we are over the moon about this, but it has already posted. So go look down. Her name is Luann, and this is her business of doing this. And she has offered to all of our clients to do a free masterclass for you. So I'm excited to take it. I'm already signed up. I'm assuming Barbara is already signed up, but all the tags are in the video. It posted yesterday. So go listen to her, sign up for her class. And we're so excited about it.
Yeah. It was just really fun to have a person come on and say, oh yeah, well, I'm going to gift you. And it was like, oh, wow. Thank you. It's always nice to I'm getting presents.
Oh, I love getting
presents. We love getting presents.
Yeah.
Well, I love getting a present.
The reason we posted it early is because her class is on Thursday that you said. And
right.
People were going to have maybe 30 minutes to watch her show, get her class, and get into the class. And we wanted to give people more time, because we know some of them I watch after work.
Yeah, exactly. So, and that's what I'm going to have, because there will be a replay. Yes. I think she's going to do a replay, isn't she?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. Well, we'll have to find out. But anyways,
I know you can go listen to her talk anytime, because that's archived on our page.
Because it's going to be on Is it going to be on Facebook? I don't remember.
I don't remember. And now,
I guess we should see. I guess we could have found that out before we did this.
Well,
but you know what? We'll find out.
Yes. Yeah. And I will post that class in this comment section, or maybe
in this recording. Perfect.
Yes. Once it's posted, we'll put it down in the comments. And so,
but this premise that we started this with is just all about productivity and mission. And I have really realized that when I have allowed myself to become cluttered, it has made such a difference to everything. And then now all of a sudden it's, oh, wow, what a sense of relief to get rid of some of the clutter. As I said, emotionally, mentally, and physically. Move your body, because your body's cluttered if it's not moving.
Mm-hmm. And have you ever gotten where we were snowed in. Have you ever gotten snowed in and you sit around in front of the fireplace drinking hot chocolate and watching TV? And then a few days later, you're like, oh, well, I'm sluggish. I don't want to do anything. I think I'll take a nap. And it's a spiral down, just like the clutter's a spiral up. That's a spiral down of physical clutter. And that's one of the things that we specialize in, is uncluttering your body physically. I've lost 35, 40 pounds. And that was due to clutter over the years. It had just built up. And I had decided that I was going to be happy where I was, and that I wasn't going to worry about it anymore. And then I found a new secret that I shared with my friend Barbara.
Yeah.
And now both of us are
And
decluttering.
I love it.
So anyway, we'll have to talk about that one of the
Decluttering
days.
our bodies.
Yeah, we'll do that one
Yeah.
of these days.
Yes.
Put in the comments if you want to hear about decluttering your body, because that is definitely motivational. Because it makes, when your body feels good, think when you were young, when your body feels good, you feel good all over. You know, you want to get up, you want to move,
Yeah.
you want to do things. And so that, but just like what happened with me, it moves on. So
Right.
did you have
Awesomeness.
anything else to say today, Barbara?
You know what? Just take care of you.
Mhm.
And the other day, I think what I say it quite is that, quit beating yourself up for the things that you're not and celebrate the things that you are. And that includes, like, when you hear something like this, oh, we declutter. Okay, even if you spend, I don't have time. Okay, set a timer for 10 minutes and work on one. Okay, I'm going to tell on myself. I tend to be an all-or girl. Can't do it all. I don't do any. Not a good practice. Not a good practice. Anyways, so last week it really came to a head a little bit because of all the clutter that I had around me. And I realized that not everything has to be done all. And also not some things I'm going to do this every day. That last week. The first
that
week.
long.
The second week was like, oh, I didn't get to it today.
Well,
so
that's another form of clutter.
That's another form of clutter.
Oh, I shoulda, woulda, coulda.
I coulda, shoulda, woulda. And so one of the gals that we know, she had, and because, everybody is different. Mm-hmm. And she put out to do something every day. And I went, there's no way that I'm going to be able to do that every day. And then that was when I was like, well, Barbara, okay, just because you know that physically and in my schedule that I wouldn't be able to do it every day, but how many days could you do it? That was a huge breakthrough for me because I'm an all or nothing girl. If I can't do it perfectly, then I'm just not going to do any of it. But I've had to change. And so now this process of uncluttering my emotions, my spirit, all of these things that are holding me back. Okay, so how many days a week can you do it? I literally sat down with my schedule and, okay, you've now scheduled this time that is you, because my quiet time is, I don't do anything in my day without my quiet time in the morning. But there are some times when you have to do more than just quiet time. You have to really do like I did a deep meditation. It was amazing, but it was an hour and a half long. I can't do that every day. But Fridays, I'm going to do it every Friday. Because that's what I've realized, that's what I've been missing. So what am I going to, so how many days can I do it? Well, okay, I can do it 4 days a week. And I have got it scheduled. It's called putting in your big rocks.
I was just thinking about that. We need to teach a whole class on that. Just a whole discussion over time, blocking your time. I think that would be very valuable.
Let's do it next week. Let's do it next week. I think it's such a timely subject. And time block, putting in the big rocks. Mm-hmm. And I love the analogy, story of what putting in the big, what that means of putting in the big rocks. And it is such a fascinating story of how it came about and just how people are now using it to just really move their lives forward. Yes, people do it for business or they do it for projects that they're working on, but you know what? It relates for everyday life also.
Well, and
For like
come
me
to the
now,
table
that
next
quality
week.
time on Friday is a big rock for me now.
Yeah. Come to the table next week with things that are immovable in your life. I mean, there are things that are immovable in my life. My quiet time is one. Things like
Right.
church on Sunday. If you go to a physical church and it's at a certain time, that's immovable. You don't have a choice over when that will be. Doctor's appointments oftentimes are immovable. People wait a month or two to get into a cardiologist,
Right.
sometimes longer than that. And so those are immovable.
Yep.
That's not just something that you can, like a chiropractor, typically you can call up and get in that day or the next day. So those are not immovable rocks, but are blocks. So kind of think through that, things that are movable, things, if you have kids, they're in school from this time to this time if they're going to public school. If you are going to school or, public school, college, a class, it's this time to this time, and it's not movable unless it's, so much more is movable now than was in 2019.
Oh, yeah.
So many things have changed, but so many things are still the same. So anyway, we don't want to keep you. We want to honor your time because we know you've blocked this time to watch our show and to interact with us. So put your comments down there, and it's been fun. I love doing this every week. So y'all show up with your drink, coffee, tea, shakes, whatever, whatever
My
floats
nutrition shake.
Yeah, whatever floats your boat, show up with it. Come meet with us next Monday morning, 10 o'clock. And do go and listen to Luann about what she has to offer about decluttering, and sign up for her class. Okay? We will see y'all. Bye.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.